Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast with Dylan and Akram. Today's episode, we are covering episode 1 of Disney's newest heroine, Miss Marvel. We just watched it. It's a new take on a character. Definitely feels like a different vibe from the other MCU properties. Akram, why don't you tell me what you thought about episode 1?
Well, I thought it was really cool. I mean, I think it has something huge to do with representation as well. And being a Muslim Pakistani, I think that's awesome. Given representation to also just we haven't seen much Arabic stuff also in MCU. I mean, we had Moon Knight, so that's really cool. And I thought Iman Vellani is she's an up and comer, and I think it's really refreshing to see as well. And I think she does a phenomenal job. I think that she'll probably in the future be like a new type of Spider-Man character. Not like as important, but I think that she gives like this fresh and a naive take to the character. And I think it stays true to, the character Miss Marvel in the comics. And I really enjoyed the show so far. I think it's really catered to a younger audience, but I think that's completely fine. That this is their show. And I think that's fine. I think it was an all right first episode. It was kind of like 50-50. But yeah, let us know what you think.
I thought it was all right. I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea per se, but I thought, like you said, it's definitely catering to younger audiences. I think maybe a lot of younger people can relate to this character, like in a way, like how they relate to Peter Parker. Iman's like a really cool actress. I thought she was cool, and she's so funny too. And I think, like you said, like the cultural aspect. I think even if you're not, Muslim or Pakistani, like it, that like her parents reminded me so much of like my childhood growing up. So there's definitely like the cultural aspect of that too. But I thought it was all right for her first episode. How did you feel about like the way she receives her powers like in this episode compared to like the comics?
That was completely odd to me. I think that was probably the least favorite aspect of the series premiere thus far. I heard the reasoning that Kevin Feige gave, and it still didn't explain why they did it. I think it has a lot to do with, Mr. Fantastic. I don't think that's really a thing where like you have to change the origin of the character that much. I mean, obviously the main point is she got her powers from the Terrigen Mists. And so even they gave her that wristband, so there's more of like an importance to wearing it rather than just like a symbolic thing. I think it has to do with heritage, but that just adds to her lore. So I'm wondering like what family member or ancestor was the first Miss Marvel or a rendition of that. I thought it was very, very odd, but it does kind of match like Captain Marvel's like power theme thingy. I don't know if that's Kree technology, because it's very like ancestral. It reminds me a lot of Black Panther, especially from what we've seen.
she ended up in that weird dimension.
Yeah,
right. With those I don't know. Like I'm not like a huge like Miss Marvel aficionado.
Yeah.
So excuse me guys if I'm not like huge like on the lore, but I thought it was all right for what it was.
Yeah, I think that with this type of show, there was a big emphasis on heritage, and also with that heritage, there's a lot of constrictions, and they showed a lot of semiotics was involved where they show like a division, and so I like that she's like near New York, basically that line of the river was there, and like when the counselor was speaking, there was that line that came across the screen. So there's a lot of division there, and I think that's going to be the center focus of the show is going to be how she will get away from this culture. But I think the beautiful thing is she isn't like talking down on her culture as well, because she does put like the sash on her waist, and she does wear the bracelet. So I like the fact that at least her characters from the comics, she's very close to her Pakistani roots, but at the same time too, I think it's basically, it makes an idyllic female strong character for the MCU. But I think what will tarnish that later, which I hope it doesn't, but I think it'll probably be the childish aspects. I hope that they don't kind of like tarnish this nice this theme they got going on where they kind of downplay it a little bit later. I hope they keep bringing it up, because that's what makes Miss Marvel Miss Marvel.
I definitely appreciate the coming of age like identity like theme that got going on here. I think at times it just feels a little cheesy, like, almost like
Yeah.
especially, like, I really, like, hated, like, the high school scenes
Oh
just
yeah.
because I felt like I was watching, like, a fucking, like, Disney Channel. I
Yeah.
don't know, I was watching with a buddy of mine, and, we were like, "No high school like that is, like, in 2022, like, they that's not how, like, high schools, like, work now."
Right.
Um, but I don't know, it was cool, and I do like the little, like, Jersey City, like, representation they got going on because I do have family in Jersey
Mm-hmm.
City, and it actually is like that. There's like a huge like Indian Pakistani like community there, and the murals I definitely thought that was like a huge representation because like Jersey City does have like a lot of like art murals, so I thought that was cool. Like when they did like the little, like animation shots with like her characters, like they're like moving on the walls and stuff. I thought that was really cool actually.
Yeah, that's I think I like the little artistic flares from each show. You know, you have WandaVision very retro and stuff like that, and Moon Knight, those type of like outro animations. So I thought this was really cool that it was live action. It was just all like arts, and I
Mhm.
think that says something too about. I think that also adds to the story a little bit too. Um, I don't know what, I don't know when, but obviously Moon Knight was kind of like just basically the rich lore of Egyptian gods, and also his split personalities. I would say like compared to Moon Knight, because it's weird to watch this after Moon Knight. It kind of like even if Moon Knight was not as violent as I expected, I
Well, it's
it's
still
kind of
pretty dark, and
yeah,
it dealt a lot with
exactly,
like
exactly.
like life and death and like schizophrenia and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Here is like, I mean, and again, it's its own thing. It's its own cup of tea. Like you said, it wasn't yours. It's its own thing, and I think again primarily, because Disney is synonymous with kid shows, so like the Disney Channel
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So this kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but like with a nice MCU flair. And I think the production value actually seemed pretty low scale, which is really strange. There wasn't like a lot of places they went to. So I'm wondering how the heights will be like added here. Like I don't really know, and I don't know much about her villains either. Again, when you change the power set, a lot probably has to change. I mean, obviously we know also there will be Red Dagger.
Mhm.
Aramis Knight will be coming on a little bit later. I wonder how they're gonna play. It looks like they're from the trailers at least we've seen. There's like this type of group, and has
This
to
feels
probably
like
do something with her.
Yeah, this feels like it definitely might be like our first really like street level hero
It
in the
does.
MCU
It
because
does.
like I was telling like my friend of mine like a lot of like even Spider-Man like even though he's a street level character they built him up to such an Avengers level scale
Yep.
where it's like he kind of like lost roots with like his origins in a way. So maybe seeing like this character like even though like I'm not like a huge like I wouldn't say fan, but like I'm not like familiar with Captain Marvel. At least she can bring another side to the MCU, right? She can show like what people like down to earth are like going through, like especially like after the snap, like what like communities are like going through, like with just like family and stuff. Because like a lot of times it's about the Avengers, like even Doctor Strange, like like
Mm,
he like even though he's not part of the Avengers, he's still is part of this bigger universe, right?
right.
So bringing it down scaled a bit, it could be like a cool like little like I don't know sitcom or something like her with like her family because I do like the little moments like her family like because that feels like so real to me in a way because like it's like like we talk about like how like the biggest threats are in the MCU are like Thanos and Ultron and all these villains, right? But at the end of the day, a lot of the real struggles that we go through is like through with like, with family, thinking about our futures and our careers and stuff. So I think that's what she's kind of like fighting with more than anything, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with that. And yeah, she's for sure a ground level character, and I think she'll be an important tool later on as probably an introductory character. Like probably she'll introduce new elements to the MC eventually, or they use her in a spinoff or something like that. I think she'll be really cool because she's a fresh slate. I think the problem with Spider-Man was he was thrown in into this civil war. He started there basically, so he didn't get, even in the movies when they show like him in high school, it didn't really feel like that, and now obviously he's in college. And so it's really interesting to see where the MCU is heading in terms of like family stuff, because we've seen obviously Kate Bishop with her mother, and now we see Kamala Khan with her parents. I feel like this MCU will be like they'll hand the baton to like the younger cast members at least. And I think that again, it's an important tool to use because now you're introducing different things. And how do you deal with that? Because everybody, like, it was very at all in the beginning of the MC. It was very like
Mhm.
everyone was like just living by themselves. You don't know anything about anybody's parents. I also think it makes a strong point. Like, it kind of shows you like these characters now, the younger characters, they have a lot to use because they're not grown. So I mean, I'm sorry, a lot to lose. They're not grown, so any time their family could be in threat. And I never felt like really Aunt May was like a threat, except in the last movie, obviously. But like I never felt like, well, at least like I didn't feel like she was like like I felt like she was always safe, you know, and
Mhm.
especially there was like close Iron Man ties and stuff like that. Here it's like nobody really has her back except her friend. Um, so like you said, it's kind of like a sitcom thing with her family. Kind of reminds me of the show Rami. I really enjoyed that show. Um, yeah, I just think like out of the whole experience that I had watching this, it was okay. I think a lot of people have their gripes because it's not really a show catered for them. It's not really a show meant for them. Representation wise,
Mhm.
and also age group wise. I don't see. I think a lot of people are going to talk shit, and I hope people don't bully her because a lot
Oh,
of people have been
please, please.
they've
If
been bullying Moses. You
I
know,
beg of you.
no, and she's a really
Yeah,
nice girl.
especially after the Moses Ingram thing would start. You guys gotta like calm down. I'm not talking about like you guys in general, but I'm talking about like the people who like go out of their way to like fucking like make terrible remarks to like actors and their character. Like if you have gripes with the character, that's fine. It's just like leave the actors alone. Right? Like they're just playing a part. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
and it's not even if you have gripes with the story. Racist shit aside anyway, because some of you motherfuckers are like racist and you just like whatever, you just if someone is flipping a coin you get mad. But like if it's the story, if you have a gripe with the story, I mean, don't blame the actresses, blame the creators, and don't harass them either, you know what I mean?
Right.
They thought what they were doing was right at the time. And what I believe, at least in my opinion, is I think for the character Miss Marvel, she wasn't really like a key component anyways in the comics. Like obviously we all talk shit about the Avengers game, right? But she was there, and she was an introductory character. So believe it or not, she could be a really powerful tool in the future. And she will, like, obviously her famous catchphrase is embiggen. And she's gonna embiggen in the MCU. I think she has a long way to go. So
Mhm.
don't get mad at her. Again, this isn't like a show like really, like hardcore, like
It's only fucking
dark.
episode 1, guys. Like, don't don't put your panties in a twist. Like,
Yeah, I mean, and this, I'm surprised they only showed one episode so far. Usually they just start off with two or something, but
mhm.
I think they went down the Moon Knight route, and I think it's working for them. I mean, so far what I've seen, I think it's gonna be a slow burn, and that's what I'm worried about too. I think it's gonna be a slow burn to like really seeing her full potential and how she got her costume and stuff like that.
Mhm. I thought
Um,
her costume was actually not that bad for for a
Cosplay
budget.
costume, it
That made
wasn't
me like
bad.
reminisce about my old cosplay days when I did Struggle Spider-Man.
Yeah, all you need is Bruno. Bruno was an interesting
Right.
character too. I don't know if they're like a love interest in the comics. I don't think so because I don't really see like a love interest for Kamala in the comics. I think she's an interesting friend. It kind of reminds me of that Ned and Peter dynamic,
Mhm.
where they're like really smart. And you had some comments also on Bruno. Bruno's like sus. Why is he living by himself, right?
Yeah, this man is like, why is he live like he's a high schooler with like a fucking like MIT level education, living in Jersey City. Like what?
And
That was so confusing to me.
I'm mad too, which is funny actually. You bring up the MIT like education. I'm mad because like all the young characters have like you think, oh yeah, we could relate, but they're like the most
They're smart
smartest
as shit.
like
Like
for the
this
start.
man built like you said like a fucking like Alexa, like that Zuzu thing. I was like,
That
what
was
the
stupid though.
fuck?
I gotta admit that guy's gonna get sued like soon by
Right.
by Amazon. That was so dumb. It's like you could have just went to Amazon and buy one.
Right.
Like
I was like, he literally built like the Jabberwocky gloves with the glow in the dark. Fuck
I
yeah.
was like, wow, you could have just bought this shit. You
But
don't
I'm
have to
like,
reinvent
you
the
couldn't
wheel.
build like a fucking like an e-bike or some shit. Like you literally had to bike home on a regular ass bike.
What did you think of what you've seen in New Jersey, by the way? Is it like pretty
Well,
cool, like
her
pretty
driver
accurate?
test was mad accurate in my opinion, because that's
Yeah.
actually how Jersey people cannot drive for shit.
Yes.
I can attest.
And I second that. I know.
Right. It was funny, like, seeing, like, the fucking, like, the New Jersey transit, like, buses.
Ooh.
My one friend was saying, like, nobody would actually, like, fucking, like, let you, like, like, abandon your bike, though. They'd probably, like, put them on the rack or some shit.
Right.
That's what
Oh
I'm saying.
wow.
There's, like, some, like, things, like, the MCU, like, always, like, tries to make, like, shit funny, but, like, there's, like, something that's like, "Alright, this is, like, kinda, like, cheesy," like, in a way.
It's like goofy, yeah. Sometimes it
Yeah.
kind of like throws you off. It's like, oh,
But,
yeah.
I do like the style of it though, like, that first, like, couple minutes where she's doing, like, her cool, like, YouTube video thing, like
Oh yeah.
like, I feel like hiring her for our podcast
I know.
sometimes,
Well, she was
like
using. I think she was using Premiere Rush actually, which
probably.
is pretty funny. Yeah, I was like, oh, I should probably check into
I
that.
feel like there's some After Effects going on in there with her cool, like and she kinda reminds me of, like, Miles Morales in a way, like, the way
Yeah.
he like, his art style is, like, his passion, what drives him, but, like, he still admires, like, these bigger, like, heroes in a way, like, they're his icons in a way, so yeah, it definitely, like, talks about, like, our heroes, like, who we idolize in a way, but, like, some people, like, our parents might see it, like, differently or, like, there's a culture clash in a way,
Hmm.
because like, she's trying to fit in, like, this, like, American society, especially now, like, especially, like, with the it was so funny, like, to me, like, when she's trying to, like, go to this Avenger Con thing, I'm like, "Dude, you literally live across the street from New York where Wizard World happens, like, every year."
I
Like, New
know.
York Comic Con, you could just go there.
Well, what did you think about that? That was a pretty cool scene. I like seeing all the little references there. There was a lot to see there, actually. I thought it was pretty interesting.
It was an okay con. It's like something like if I wouldn't pay like $50 to
Wizard
go to or
World,
some shit.
worse than Wizard
Like
World.
you said, it was like some Etsy shit or
It
something.
was just an Etsy convention. I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be like professional.
I
Like they should have put like an Easter egg of Disney, like a Disney like little like stand up
I
there,
would
and
have
they had
thought
like merch.
it would have been funny if like they had like a guest panel and like one of the actual like Avengers is there, like maybe like Bruce Banner or something. Like they
That
just
would be
call
really
him
weird.
as
Yeah, I know. Or
yeah.
like some B lister. I
They
would have
would
imagined Scott Lang. I wonder if he's gonna show up at some point. There's like a lot of like references to Scott this episode. So that's my hope at least. Or Captain Marvel. That would be wild. That'll definitely probably
I
happen.
doubt. Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy though if we actually saw like Captain Marvel
Like at
like
the
in this
end,
show? Yeah.
like a little like little thing. Like I don't know how they would do it. I don't know if it'll come off too cheesy again. But like you said, it kind of seems like a little sitcom-y. It's just a coming of
Mhm.
age story. But like I think they could pull it off with the tone. Like even like a suit like Shazam, where like at the end of Shazam, it was like Superman showed up. Like it's
Mhm.
something like that. I
Yeah,
got
something.
such a feeling. Yeah.
How many episodes is this season supposed to be?
Actually, this season, I think the season is going to have 12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Oh,
gonna have.
okay. So that's a good amount.
Which is funny. I'm
Yeah,
actually pulling
that's
up our
strange
work
that they didn't
calendar here.
like you said, like had the first 3 episodes out.
Yeah. Oh no, six. So it's gonna finish
Oh,
in July 13th.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So 6. I would have honestly just released a second episode though.
Yeah,
I
because
would
I
have
feel like we have
just.
a taste of the character, but like we still, I don't know. There wasn't like the end of the episode didn't really have like dire consequences for me. It was like okay, like she fucked up this con, but and then like her parents at the end. But other than that, I didn't really feel like there was much at stake, except for the ending credits. Of course, we got to talk about because
Oh yeah.
the dude from Spider-Man No Way Home, the detective guy,
Arian
I think his name's
Moyed,
Agent
Agent P.
Cleary.
Clearly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up at the end because they show footage of her using her powers and stuff. So do you think that's like gonna be like the new like shield or like
I so Not really. I think that because they brought him back, I think he's going to be like a cutesy version of Nick Fury, and it reminds me a lot of like the Spider-Man series on Disney XD, with the guy from Drake and Josh, the guy that he voiced Spider-Man. They have
Draco?
like like all these characters instead of Shield, they kind of like meet up through this agency, and they kind of like meet this guy who he's kind of like, he's not like Nick Fury, but he's like a funny, like kind of cool guy
He
or
could be
whatever.
like a
Coulson,
like
maybe.
like an enforcer for like the Sokovia Accords or something. Like there probably has to be like people still looking for like metahumans or
I
shit,
forgot
some
all
shit.
about that too. All the shit that
And
went down, and that just like blew out
isn't
the
it
window.
crazy how it feels like so long ago, like Civil War, but the ramifications are still like implemented like in all these newer series?
Yeah, if anything, fucking look at Wanda.
I know.
Like, she completely, like, I don't know. I don't know. He's okay. I don't think it was that important to show him. I mean, clearly he's probably gonna show up a lot later on. To make this connected. more. Yeah, but I think he's gonna be kind of like this cool Coulson character. But then it starts reminding me a lot of, you know how what the show reminds me of? It reminds me a lot of kind of like the Runaways.
I was just about to say that too, because of like the
Right?
Power Pack kids.
Right? It's kind of like that. It's like that, the same kind of vibe. Kind of, it reminds me. It doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. I mean, for sure, it's it's high quality, but like kind of reminds me of like the ABC shows or like Hulu. Not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that's what I'm getting from like the vibe.
Well, I don't know about Disney Plus, but I'm definitely getting like Disney vibes. Like, I'm like, hi, I'm Kamala Khan, and you're watching Disney Plus or some shit.
It reminds me, this show like fits in exactly with Cloak and Dagger when it was around, and The Runaways to me. Nothing Netflix, obviously. I feel like Disney Plus, sometimes they try to emulate the greatness of like the Netflix shows, but then they kind of like put more of that movie flair into them. This though, for sure, definitely reminded me of
Well,
like ABC.
this is definitely like how we were talking about like how Moon Knight was pushing
Right.
the rated R or like boundary. Like this is definitely like pushing the limits of the PG. Like how PG can we go with this show?
Well, and I think again, I think that's fine for the audience. You're catering for. I think this is meant for a younger audience. I think that's fine. I don't think Moon Knight's like that bad. I would certainly show like a younger kid Moon Knight. I thought it was gonna be worse. I thought Moon Knight was gonna be like so hardcore.
And then we saw it when we got Doctor Strange, and that was like,
yeah, I know,
fucking war crimes.
right? Sokovian war crimes. Like, but in general, like, what are your final thoughts about this show, though?
It's not bad. I can definitely see like a lot of people aren't going to be totally into show, and that's fine. Like I said, just as long as you're respecting, the creatives and the actors, because it's definitely catering to our younger audience, and I think we definitely have like, especially with Avengers, like we have such an expectation now of what the MCU is like and how we envision certain characters, especially. But I think Miss Marvel, I know she's like gaining popularity now in the comics, but I feel like she's not as like well known, say like maybe like Spider-Man. So I think people aren't gonna have like a huge expectation for her character. But I can't wait to see where it goes. I think the first episode was okay, and I think we just definitely, like I said, like got a taste of like what her character is about, like dealing with like you know ethnic issues at home and stuff. But what did you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Final thoughts for episode 1.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think if anything, it's not going to end with like a big bang, but I think that it will be something to like keep in your pockets for a little bit later. It's one of those characters that it has always been like that, really. In the comics, obviously, she's like a little bit more different. I just hope we get more explanation about her powers too. Like, I hope that they kind of persuade me to like them more, because at the moment, I don't like. Not that I don't like them. I just find them really weird. It's not really stretchy like body parts, just like projections of them. So I wonder how they're gonna tie it in. And I think Iman, she does like a really great job at playing Kamala. I like her take on it a lot. Because she's kind of like this nerdy character, but at the same time too, there's like a little bit of swag to her, like when she's talking to her brother or something like that, or a friend. So I really like that. I think more so, I think Peter actually acts more awkward than she does. Especially like when he's talking to his friends or whatever like that. So she's like a naive character, but in a way has like this maturity to her, and she has, I think, in her way, and her responsibility is kind of like how to branch out from her culture and how to be a strong female character, just like Captain Marvel. But those are our thoughts. If you made it to the end, we really appreciate it, by the way. So thank you so much. And also, please check out our Apple Podcast. We're doing really well there. So if you're an Apple trader, check us out there. And also Anchor, give us some love, and give us some love on YouTube. Give us a nice like. Check out our playlist as well. We really appreciate it. But without further ado, Dylan, take us away.
Yeah, I mean, we also have a TikTok page up now, so if you guys want to see clips, and sometimes I post memes of us.
Oh, yeah.
Too. And our Instagram page also, that's really where we post like all our news and updates. Guys, we have Summer Game Fest coming up this week, so we'll be doing a reaction episode to that, so stay tuned. Also, we're going to be releasing Obi-Wan episode 4, I believe, reaction pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. And Jurassic World is coming out this week, Jurassic World Dominion. So we're going to be doing a review for that as well. Can't wait to do that. But thank you guys again. And until then, thank you for having lunch with us.
See you guys. See you guys.